Kuzuzambo, a very warm welcome to Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program with me, Yishi Galton. Our top stories this week: health experts say patients should take rest instead of asking doctors for antibiotics. Bhutan drops to 75th in the ease of doing business rankings. And Mangdechu project in Trongsa, 90% complete. A human body's immunity system can fight certain infections on its own. So health officials say it is not advisable to prescribe or take antibiotics for minor health problems, but rather a good rest is the best therapy.
In Bhutan, people go and see a doctor for a minor illness like common cold. And it is observed that on many occasions, doctors prescribe antibiotics. Common cold is a viral infection against which antibiotics does not work. According to Public Health England, prescribing antibiotics without proper examination of the illness is not a healthy treatment option. Public Health England is an executive agency of the Department of Health in the UK. Health officials in Bhutan agreed that antibiotic is not essential for every illness.
When prescribing antibiotic to a patient, I think it's very important for a clinician, firstly to examine the patient properly and find out whether antibiotics really required or not. So, there are different conditions, like specific diseases, which requires antibiotics, and also there are some conditions which doesn't require antibiotics.
It is rather advisable for a patient to take rest and let the illness heal on its own. Viral infections such as common cold or bronchitis, health officials said, takes a few days to heal without any medical intervention.
If we take up this common cold, I think initially common cold, we can just give some symptomatic treatment. Like for example, if the patient has fever, we can give paracetamol. And if that patient has running nose, we can give some antihistamine and ask the patient to take rest, drink lots of hot water and all that. Then if the patient doesn't get well in 2-3 days time, then patient should come back and see him again.
Prescribing antibiotics even when not required is called irrational prescribing. It is one of the main causes of bacteria developing resistance against the drug. And today, it has become a global health concern. Many antibiotics are becoming ineffective. When antibiotic becomes ineffective, it requires stronger antibiotics to treat an infection. Pupgam for BBS News.
With the elections fast approaching, political parties have started getting ready. Some of them have started to announce their candidates, while some are preparing to do so. Bhutan Kinyam Party recently announced 3 new candidates. Druk Phinsum Sokpa has been announcing theirs through social media, while the 3 other registered parties intend to announce their candidates soon.
Last week, Bhutan Kinyam Party declared 3 new candidates: 60-year-old Dr. Leki from Chokotang constituency in Bumtang, Tiledoji, a businessman from Chapcha Bongop constituency in Chuka, and 58 years old former civil servant Nimdoji from Lamgong Wancha constituency in Paro. Druk Chirwang Sokpa is waiting for their party convention to make some decision on their candidates, after which they plan to make the announcement. The party's convention is expected to be held this month. Druk Namno Sokpa is also getting ready, but shared they still have some decisions to make, after which they will be introducing their candidates. They said detailed information would also be shared then. Druk Phinsum Sokpa has taken to social media to announce their new candidates. The party has already introduced 5 new members. They announced Phup Tsering from Lamgong Wancha constituency in Paro, Nim Gelson from Atang Thetso constituency in Wangdi Phodrang, Kewal Ram Adhikari from Sergetang Tsirang Tet constituency in Tsirang, Chimijamtso from Nishu Sefu constituency in Wangdi Phodrang, and Tsiringdoji from Gangzur Minji constituency in Lunsi. The party said with 4 of their current MPs retiring, they have had to identify 37 new members. Meanwhile, People's Democratic Party says they have identified 16 new candidates. This is including the ones who will be replacing their 2 MPs who will not contest because of the age factor. The party shared some of them are yet to resign from their jobs, because of which they are unable to make the announcement yet. However, the party intends to introduce some of their members this month during their party convention. Sonam Funso, BBS News.
The national airlines Trukya will resume domestic operations to Gelepu and Yongpula. The airlines company announced that the flights will begin from 11th November, coinciding with the birth anniversary of His Majesty the 4th Drugelpo.
The official announcement comes after the Drukgyal, through its parent organization, Druk Holding and Investments, and the government held several meetings. Earlier, we reported that Drukgyal, through DHI, submitted 4 proposals to the Finance Ministry for the operation of domestic flights to Gelepu and Yonpula. One of the proposals, turned down by the government, was purchasing of a new ATR-42 aircraft. The other proposals included subsidy of 400,000 miltrum per flight to meet the economic viability gap, and a one-time establishment cost of about 8 million miltrum, which were both approved by the government, except that subsidy per flight was brought down to 300,000 miltrum. As per the news release, Drukgyal will operate about 3 flights a week on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. The flight time is expected to be about half an hour to Gelepu and another half an hour from Gelepu to Yonpula. The domestic airports were launched for flight operations in December 2011. However, flights to these airports were erratic and suspended on several events. Sonam Funso, BBS News.
Bhutan dropped 2 places to 75th among 190 countries in ease of doing business. This is as per the World Bank's report released recently. The drop comes at a time when the government committed to take Bhutan into the top 50. The report sheds light on how easy or difficult it is for a local entrepreneur to open a business when complying with relevant regulations.
Despite the drop, there are a number of parameters in which Bhutan has improved. Starting a business, getting credit, dealing with construction permits, enforcing contracts and paying taxes. In all these areas, Bhutan have jumped forward. But what Bhutan has lagged behind, interestingly, is, for instance, in getting electricity, registering property and protecting minority investors. These are parameters in which Bhutan have lagged behind. With the central bank reducing the minimum lending rate in March, Bhutan's getting credit ranking jumped to 77 from 82 last year. The process and number of days required to start a business also improved, resulting in Bhutan gaining 6 spots in this parameter. Other criteria like dealing with construction permits and enforcing contracts saw a significant jump, moving 15 and 22 places respectively.
So let me put it this way. And for example, ranking in the doing business, this is not the end, and this is a means to improve and to measure business environment. And absolute goal of investment climate reform is to improve the business climate, and which matters and for domestic small and medium enterprises as well as other type of companies. And in that sense, and Bhutan is going on to the right direction as demonstrated by doing business survey.
Still will improve. There's a political will to improve ease of doing business rank. There has been, I think we have not been able to achieve higher rank from 73 last year. But in terms of making changes in the regulatory, we have changed the company's law. Company's law has special provisions for protecting minority rights. It has also made it easy for registration of companies. It has also made it easy for, and of course our judiciary has initiated a program through which they have made a special court where commercial cases can be quickened. So through those, I think we have improved.
Ironically, what has come down is the ranking in case of getting electricity. The World Bank report have other warnings as well, like the ease of registering property has fallen 5 places and protecting minority investors has slid 10 places. But Bhutan is ahead of its South Asian neighbors. Ranked at 100, India is closest to Bhutan. And with the government saying it has initiated various reforms across agencies to improve the ranking, doing business in Bhutan is expected to get easier. With camera person Sonam Tashi, Sharaf Dorji, BBS News.
Job seekers traveling to Samrup-Jonkar no longer have to worry about accommodation. The Ministry of Labour and Human Resources have constructed an apartment for them as they look for a job.
The job seekers have to register with Ministry of Labour and Human Resources office in Samrup-Jonkar to avail themselves of the apartment services. Even after getting employed through the Labour Ministry's employment services, one can avail the job seekers' apartment services for a period of 1 year.
It benefits us a lot. Many youth gets opportunity to work through Labour office, but without a proper house to stay, we face lots of problem. But now, after the Labour office provided us this house, it has helped us a lot, especially those who come from far places.
I come from a very far place and I don't have a proper place to stay here. Even if you get a house, I cannot rent it since I don't earn salary right now. The Labour Ministry provided us this hostel where we have to pay only 500 Newton in a month. So this is helping us a lot.
Till now, about 43 job seekers have availed the apartment services. The Labour Ministry constructed the job seekers' apartment at a cost of 6.4 million Newton to extend employment services to the rural youth last year. For Kilewanchu in Samrup-Jonkar, Sunampem for BBS News.
It is difficult for people of Kotoka in Wandipodra to hire a vehicle to transport their potatoes to the market. The reason? Bad road conditions. The farm road, which is under construction, is currently at its worst state post-monsoon. The 24-kilometer farm road is the lifeline for the people of Kotoka. They have been using it since decades to transport their main cash crop, potatoes. Considering this, a major maintenance of the road was initiated last year. And now, following the completion of the base course works, people allege that the condition of the road has worsened.
A major portion of the work should have been completed by now. That's not the case here. We are over 500 households in Kotoka and we all depend on potato for our livelihood. We have to take the crop to Finseling, but due to the condition of the road, we are not able to do so. It's worrying.
Many have packed their potato harvest in sacks and are waiting for the trucks to take them to the market before it gets damaged.
Trucks refuse to come. They say the condition of the road is bad. And even if they come, they will charge high. If we are not able to sell potato this time, then it will be difficult meeting the expenses of our children. It will be difficult to repay the loan. Our livelihood is at stake.
From Tikizampa to Kotoka, it's around 22 kilometers, but we have to pay transport charge, which is more than what people of Bumthang pay to take their potatoes to Finseling. The charges have gone up as well. It is all due to the bad road condition. At present, only those who have tractors are able to transport their potato.
People have already reported their concerns and dissatisfaction over the progress of the work to the Georg administration. They complain the works were not carried out as it should be, due to which the condition of the road has further deteriorated. The contractor, on the other hand, refused the allegations. While he reasoned loose soil and incessant rain affected the work, the contractor has agreed to immediately carry out necessary maintenance of the road until the potato auctioning season is over. The remaining works, he said, will be carried out as per the contract agreement. Compiled for Komal Kharka in Wandipodra, Hishe Gelson, BBS News. People of Doroka Trunkak are in need of a bus service between the Trunkak and Samsi town. They find it expensive and inconvenient to travel in taxis for over 50 kilometers to reach their district center.
On an average, about 100 people, including civil servants from Doroka, travel to Samsi every day, and Bolero taxis are the main mode of transport for the journey. People say, now with the blacktopping of the Gyeok Center road almost complete, it is time a bus service is started.
When we fall sick and need to visit the hospital, we have to reserve a taxi, which costs us 600 Niltrum for a round trip. So it will benefit us if we have a bus service here.
While traveling in a taxi, we have to wait until the seats are fully occupied or make reservation if we prefer to start early. Doing so is expensive for people like us. The drivers charge around 2,000 Niltrum.
With an improved route, we should have a bus service because the Dunkak has 3 gyuks and some people are from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. They cannot afford to travel by taxis.
The Dunkak administration said the need for a bus service has been proposed and the Information and Communications is studying its feasibility. Doroka Dunkak has a population of over 14,000 people. For Damchazam, Pemasaldunstring, PBS News.
With the completion of the excavation of Headrace Tunnel, the Mangdechu Hydroelectric Project Authority in Trongsa completes about 90% of construction. The construction began in March 2012. The project will also be the cheapest if completed on time.
The day-lighting ceremony after the completion of the excavation of Headrace Tunnel was held yesterday. Headrace Tunnel is a key component of Hydropower project. It will divert the river from dam to the powerhouse to run the turbines. The 720 megawatt Mangdechu Hydroelectric project is well on track with completion of its crucial excavation of 13.5 kilometer Headrace Tunnel. The management assured that project will be complete by mid of next year. The managing director said that the government of India has approved the final cost of the project at 46.7 billion Newton.
If you divide this figure by 720 megawatt, it is costing us, this project is costing us 6.5 crore per megawatt, which is cheapest in the entire SAARC region. No project in India and Bhutan is built at this cost, 6.5 crore per megawatt. And this is a biggest achievement for all of us.
Once commissioned, the project could be earning gross revenue of 7 billion Newton annually. This is assuming electricity from the project is sold at 2.5 Newton a unit. For Surjaman Thapa in Tongsa, Pup Game for BBS News.
Students of Sherab Gassal Lower Secondary School in Samsi are in need of a proper dining hall. Currently, students have their meal in the open without a proper place to sit.
The school provides meal to boarding students as young as 6 years old. It takes about 15 minutes as they wait in turns for the plates to be filled. But the biggest challenge students face is while having their meals due to lack of a proper place to sit. Students either have to squat or stand to have their meal. The school teachers have pitched 2 temporary tents for which the students are grateful. About 200 students have their meals in the tent which has no provision to sit. The situation is worst during the dinner time as students cramp in a single tent since the other one has no light.
It's very uncomfortable for us to stand and eat. And sometimes when it rains, it is very difficult, especially difficult for younger children to handle their food in their hands and go. Sometimes they slip away in the muddy part. But our teachers are trying hard by making at least they have made tent for us where we can be safe from rain.
It is not just 1 or 2 meals, but we eat all the 3 meals standing outside regardless of the harsh weather. And we have been eating like this every day and our feet hurts. When our feet hurts, we cannot even study well, and above all, we do not even feel the real taste of our food. So we would be really grateful if government could provide us a shelter where we can enjoy our meals.
The school has proposed for an auditorium to the government recently to be constructed in the 12th five-year plan. For Damchazam in Samtsi, Pasang Doji, PBS News.
Agriculture has become a part of learning process in Wangbama Central School in Thimphu. The school bagged the Best School Agricultural Farm Award for 3 consecutive years. Now, encouraged by this recognition, the school is looking at diversifying its farming activities, as Seringtandub reports.
The journey to becoming an exemplary school today began in 2012 when the school agriculture program was introduced. They started with about 50 decimals of land. Radish, cabbage and spinach were some of the vegetables the school first harvested. But the task was not easy, says the school's agriculture coordinator.
It was only after clearing all the trees that we got the land in 2012. I guess all the nutrients in the soil were buried deep with the trees because the soil was infertile.
Moreover, for being located at a higher altitude, the growing season for vegetables was short.
Through the constant support from the government and students making their own compost manure, and with the help of villagers here, we are making the soil fertile.
Today, all such efforts have paid off. Through the program, the school has not just met some of its domestic demand for vegetables, but generated around 90,000 newton. They have also extended their farm to an acre of land.
From next year, we are going to come with new and modern strategies to improve the farm. We will grow more varieties of vegetables as well. We come here on Wednesdays and Saturdays to work in groups.
With its 3rd consecutive win, the school will compete for the Best Model Farm School Award next year. Towards claiming the title, the school plans to venture into livestock farming, such as poultry, and improve its existing piggery. This is Seringtandub, BBS News.
After centuries of gradual loss of its significance, Jambelhaga in Bumta is slowly seeing a revival of its 14th century tradition, the Jambelhaga Drupchen. Thanks to an initiative by the Buli Monastery in Chumigeog, Buli Khembo and monks reinstituted the ceremony as an annual event since 2015. The present popularly celebrated Jambelhaga Drup is only an offshoot of the Drupchen, according to the monastery.
The details of the ceremony were found in an ancient text by Buli Monastery. It is one of the principal seats of learning of Dorling tradition in the country. The ritual was first instituted as a special consecration ceremony by the great treasure revealer Doji Lingpa in the early 14th century after he came to Bumta and renovated the Jambelhaga.
Treasure
revealer Doji Lingpa performed 108 Tordo, 108 Nyenpa and 108 Jinse when he first instituted the ceremony. So we are also conducting the same rituals here. As the place is an ancient sacred site and with the blessings of revered lamas, I hope this will contribute a lot in ensuring peace and harmony in the country.
He also said that with time, the ceremony became largely dominated by Sechu and a few related dances performed at the annual Jambelhaga Dub. The revival of the ceremony was initiated 2 years ago for the well-being of His Majesty the Fodu Gabo and His Holiness the Jekembo. This year's ceremony ended with Ngedub Lawang on Tuesday. It will now be followed by Jambelhaga Dub, which begins on Saturday. For Kipchu in Bumta, Pup Game for BBS News.
Well, that's all for this time. Thank you for joining us.